On this week's episode of The Piper Harlow Show, we have Miss New Jersey International Akasha Christopher, actor Garry Pastore with special guest appearance by Alexa Prisco, and also Dr. Elijah Nicholas. So stay tuned for this amazing episode. We will be right back.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash, then give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
Call National Estate Jewelry Buyers at 732-257-4653 or visit us online at www.toppricesforgold.com.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash, then give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
And now, back to the Piper Harlow Show. Hi, everybody. I am here with Miss New Jersey International Akasha Christopher. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to finally meet you.
Of course, the pleasure's all mine.
Aw. So tell me about your experience. Tell me about being Miss New Jersey International 2024.
It's been crazy, for sure. It was my first pageant ever. I kind of just went into it trying to make friends, trying to get a new perspective, and trying to gain some more confidence. And it was funny, while they were crowning, I was literally thinking, oh, what am I going to eat after this? You know what
It's always about the food.
I was like, what am I going to do after this? And then they called my name, and I was like, oh, no way. But I didn't realize how much responsibility and how much meaning came behind winning. And it's a great honor for me because it's a great way for me to use my voice to represent other people's voices. Mm-hmm. And it has my whole family, my whole community very, very excited. So it's been very fun.
I love it. And I know your parents, actually. Yes. They are some of the most amazing people ever.
Yes.
So tell me, so you talked about the responsibility and the meaning behind winning. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Okay, so the international pageant system is a little different from Miss USA or Miss World. Or the reason it's different is because it's really platform driven. It's a lot like Miss America, and you have to have a message, something that you really, really believe in, to the point where you can convince everyone else to believe in it.
And what is your message?
So my message is about diverse representation in the media and awareness for exploitation and for promoting entrepreneurship within the industry.
Well, you are in the right place on
right?
this show.
It was really important to me to talk about those things because I work in the industry. And so I was like, why not talk about myself and the struggles I've gone through and the things that I want to talk about because no one else is talking about them.
Can you give us a little example of that? Give us the scoop.
Sure. So I started freelance modeling around 2 years ago. And when I started, I was like really, really excited, fresh to the scene, thinking all these opportunities are going to come for me. And I kind of realized I was looking around and I was seeing that there was no one else who looked like me. And I was like, is that a pro or is that a con?
Right, yeah.
And one of the first few photographers I worked with, he was like, Kanji, you should really take this seriously because there's not a lot of Indian models out there. And I was like, that's great, but why is that? And I kept thinking about it. Like the more and more I modeled, and I realized it's because of the current beauty standard. And people like me aren't represented on the screen because first, number one, societally, that's not the beauty standard. And then number two, we're just not cast.
There definitely needs to be a change. I agree with that. I feel like we are starting to see that a little bit more, finally. Every TV show that I see and even like commercials are so much more diverse than they've ever been.
The first 2 times I did runway, I worked with a brand called Savalion, and I was just like so happy working with them because I looked to my side, I saw all girls that look like me.
That's amazing.
And the second show he had a trans girl there. And she opened the show too.
Wow.
I was like, that's what it's about.
That's amazing.
You know, not just, oh, you're invited, you can be here. No, you're the star. You shine.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
So what do you think about Mindy Kaling? I'm a huge fan.
Oh my God.
I've read all her books.
You asked.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay,
Yes.
tell me.
I like her work. I really do. And it's funny to me because she started off as an actress, you know, and then she went into production, right?
She started as a writer. She was a
writer,
writer for The Office.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, it means a lot to me because I've seen some of her shows that she's put out, and to see the
And it's
main
very
character-
Indian.
Yes.
It does a lot of shows with, you know, bringing girls in who are Indian.
Yes, and they're not just the typical, like they're like a nerdy character or like the comedic side relief. No, they have like actual stories and actual plots and actual history. And she also talks a lot about the culture.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of the times, people of color, when they're casted in the media, you don't talk about their culture. And if it's not, when you do, it's a joke, which I find it,
As Italian, I can, yes,
Right.
I can understand that.
I find it like a lost opportunity.
Right.
Because your roots and your culture make up a lot about who you are.
Absolutely.
And your story.
So how do you feel about season 2 of Bridgerton?
Oh my God.
Because they did tie in a lot about Indian culture, even like the tea, like when she was drinking tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of my favorite shows. Not because of like the whole Renaissance thing. I'm not a super history buff. But just
such a
because,
nerd.
oh really? Yes. I like the costume design though.
So good.
But that was one of the first few shows that I saw a dark-skinned South Indian lady being the protagonist. And she talks about her culture so much. Even they speak the language in it too as well.
Yeah.
And like she calls her like Didi and whatnot, which means older sister.
Oh.
And she really, really inspired me. And that show really inspired me.
It's so great. And I think that there's so much more to come. But here in New Jersey, I mean, you know, we live in New Jersey and New York. And it is the most densely populated Indian population in the entire U.S.
Yes.
Yes. So I think now the rest of the world, you know, kind of needs to know what we already know here about how wonderful the culture is. You're so beautiful
thank you.
and talented.
So are you.
And thank you so much. Sorry. So now that you're Miss New Jersey International, what advice do you have for young women or girls who are aspiring to be models or, you know, just be entrepreneurs?
Okay. So I have a lot of advice, honestly.
Let's hear it.
Number one, I know it sounds cheesy, but you have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what kind of support system you have, when you go to bed, you know, and you either have a bad day or, you know, that's when the doubts start creeping in, you're the only person being the real guiding path.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And you have to be very, very confident in yourself, even when you don't feel like it. And that takes a lot of work.
It does.
It does.
It does. There's so many to know. I had to do that at night too sometimes because things don't go your way and nobody's going to root for you the way that you do.
No, not really. And if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to.
Right.
A lot of the times, as an entrepreneur, as a model, even as any kind of artist, what you do will sound crazy to a lot of other people.
It will. That's why I say don't tell anybody till after you've done it because people will try to knock it down.
Yes, exactly. So you have to have that mental fortitude to really be strong, be bold, and be creative. And then the other piece of advice I would have is make mistakes. Make mistakes because that's how you learn. And you will learn about how to avoid those mistakes at some point. And then your business will grow because of it.
Yes.
And then the last thing I would say is after you get your foot in that door, leave it open for,
Yes.
you know,
Yes,
for the
bring
people
other
behind
people
you.
up behind you.
Exactly.
I love it. You are so amazing. I wish you all the best with everything. Where can people go to find you?
My pageant page is Miss New Jersey International, Miss NJINTL. Yes.
Awesome. Everybody, make sure you follow her. This woman is going places and trailblazing. Thank you so much for being here today. Everybody, we will be right back with actor Garry Pastore.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash and give us a try. You'll get the most money and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
Call National Estate Jewelry Buyers at 732-257-4653 or visit us online at www.toppricesforgold.com.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash and give us a try. You'll get the most money and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
Welcome back, everybody. He's here, actor Garry Pastore. I'm so excited. Wearing his matching glasses to match my outfit today.
I
You
tried.
got the memo as well.
I tried.
You did a good
I
job.
knew that your gold would reflect off of my off-white
There you go.
jacket.
And into
Listen,
the glasses.
I know about these things.
Garry, I'm sure you guys know who he is. It's been in everything from, Goodfellas, Carlito's Way, A Bronx Tale, you name it, Gary's in it. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Oh, I
Thank
thank
you
you.
for coming in. Tell us about your acting career. How did you get started in acting? I know you're local here from Scotch Plains. Yes?
I am. I was a model back when I was 20. I
So like 5 years ago?
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
10.
Oh, 10.
Let's be fair. Yeah, no, I was a model. I didn't really enjoy the modeling world so much. It was very competitive and decadent to a point, not my kind of decadence, I'll put it that way.
Right.
It was interesting. It helped put money in the bank. And from there, it segued into soap operas. I was on Loving. I was on All My Kids, and I was on
All my children?
Ryan's Hope.
Yes. Wow.
And that's how I got my SAG card in those 3. And then I just liked the writing. And they heard me one day during lunch because the soundstage was mic'd. So I
Whoops,
said,
we've had that problem here sometimes. Happens.
I was like, who writes this? And they heard me, and I was killed off in
Oh, no.
probably 2 weeks. But it was fine because it opened up the doors for everything else.
Yeah. Your first big role in film was really, opposite Jack Nicholson, right?
Pritzi's Honor.
Yeah. That's a
Pritzi's
big
Honor.
deal. How did that feel?
It was great. And especially since I held Jack in such high regard as an actor back then. When you coming out of the 70s and 80s, there were certain icons. Jack Nicholson was one of them. Believe it or not, Donald Sutherland was a huge actor when I was a kid. That
Yeah.
you emulated. I did manage to work with George C. Scott as an understudy in a play. He was cool. I met a lot of the old timers. I met Tony Curtis, who
Wow.
everybody said I looked a lot like when he was a kid, and I did. If I looked at the old Tony Curtis,
Yeah.
pictures,
Yeah.
we did look alike.
And you typically play a lot of, Italian roles. So tell me how you feel about that.
You mean priests and judges?
Priests and judges. Yeah.
Being Italian, obviously, we don't always want to be known as gangsters.
Right. We were talking about that previously about how, because I'm Italian too, and most Italians are completely typecast in that role.
It just so happens that my father was a gangster, so it helped me playing gangster roles. And I hardly knew my dad. He led a secret life, which is a whole story in itself. But growing up, knowing him and meeting his friends, and I've worked in some unsavory places growing up. I worked in a lot of nightclubs with wise guys, and I knew how they ate, and I know just about everything they do. How they eat, how they sleep, how they laugh, how they talk, how they
All
don't
of
talk.
that.
And I've done a great job of putting that on screen.
Absolutely. And so your cousin Vincent is also
Whom I love.
who
to
you
death.
love. Yes. Yes. From The Sopranos, his famous role, Big Pussy.
I actually act longer than he was.
Yeah.
Vinny he was a nightclub owner. He owned a Crazy Horse up in New Rochelle. And Matt Dillon told Vincent that he thought he would be great as an actor. And he kind of took that to heart. And
That's
he
how it went.
became, yeah.
You also, you direct.
I do
as well.
direct.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
I've directed 3 films so far. One called Distressed, which was a biopic kind of a film, a dramedy comedy about stress and how we bring stress on in our own lives.
Very true.
Yeah, stress is manufactured, and I believe that we manufacture it. And if we can learn to work around that, we wouldn't be so stressful. You can watch De-Stressed on YouTube, and I really think that everybody should watch it. This is a good self-help film, and I also wrote the book Distress, which is available. If you'd like a copy, I think you can go on my website.
Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to be right back after a quick commercial break and have another guest appearance pop in this interview.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash and give us a try. You'll get get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
Call National Estate Jewelry Buyers at 732-257-4653 or visit us online at www.toppricesforgold.com.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash and give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
And now, back to the Piper Harlow Show.
All right, guys, we are back, and I pulled my dear friend Alexa Prisco, who has been here all day, hiding in the shadows and giving notes.
I'm a makeup artist.
Yes.
So
You probably remember her from Jerseylicious and her spin-off, The Glam Fairy.
I don't look like the glam fairy right now, Val.
It's fine. But Alexa's got a lot of questions for Garry, so I'm going to let you take this over. Go ahead.
I was backstage and I'm like bursting, like trying to text her to send her questions. And I was like, you know what? I need to say a few things. So I would like to first apologize for pulling this Billie Eilish outfit. And I have no makeup on, but I promise I'm more attractive with it. So you have a layer of authenticity that it sounds like no one else has, because when people are using method, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, and my brother tells me that I'm not allowed to say this, but my great uncle is Jimmy Blue Eyes Aloe. Jimmy Blue Eyes Aloe, there was a role made after. Look at my daughter saying no in the background. So Jimmy Blue Eyes Aloe, there was a role of a character was played by him in The Godfather. So I grew. My father was not a gangster, but I grew up, hearing things. My father's from the Bronx, so I've met wise guys, so I understand where you're coming from, and I don't think that like somebody can learn it. So you're coming from a totally different game, which is why you probably have that level of frustration.
It is. It's a little frustrating, and I'm tired of what I see. See, I don't try to be a wise guy. I come from a life of wise guy hoods.
Right.
And these people that I grew up with were in my neighborhood. They were my bosses. They were my dad's friends. I don't try to be them. I don't act when I go on them. I am them. In fact,
It's like it's in you.
on the deuce that what do you call it? Script supervisor came over to me twice. She goes, "You're in the mafia, aren't you?" I said, "No, I'm really not." She goes, "Yeah, you are." And she walked off.
Right.
And she didn't do it once.
Right.
Did it twice.
Right.
And I said, and I grabbed her at the end. I said, "But why why'd you ask me that?" She goes, "I didn't see one mistake."
Right. It's in your
Nothing.
DNA.
She goes, it's like in your DNA, and you're scary. In fact,
I'm a little scared today, I'm not going to lie.
the director would often say to me, "Bring it down 3 notches." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because you really don't have to do much, Garry." He goes, "Just walk out there and repeat the dialogue, and we're good from there." And I'm like, "Okay."
But
I like that.
organically, you probably have better dialogues.
And I do put my own dialogue in at times.
Yeah.
If I think something's poorly written, or I would say that we don't say that, or they wouldn't say that.
Yes.
One of the things I cannot stand. We're going to take this guy in the woods, and we're going to throw him a beat, and I'm going to stab him, and I'm going to shoot him, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Shut up about it.
Exactly.
It doesn't make you tough.
Exactly.
In fact, the less you say, the better off.
Right.
Yep.
My favorite thing in this whole world, and I say it over and over again, Michael Corleone comes out of the bathroom. The gun is in the bathroom. He's having dinner with McCluskey and Salazzo. Right? And he goes, "You mind if I talk in Italian?" "No, I don't mind." And he's talking in Italian. He's going like this. Blah, 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 blah. Michael's just looking around. He doesn't say anything. And then for 5 minutes, it's just eye contact. He takes out the gun, boom, boom, and he walks out of the door. That is amazing acting.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do
it's
anything
real.
else.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say a word.
Right.
I don't like to say words because half the time I look at the words and it's stupid.
Right.
So I don't want to say what you wrote. And I don't want to be offensive. But I'd rather not say what you wrote because it's stupid.
Where can people go to find you, Garry?
www.GarryPastore with 2 R's.com. I am at Garry_Pastore on IG. I could use a few more followers.
It was
Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you today.
so
This
nice
has been a very interesting interview.
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
I'm just like bubbling over with questions, but
We'll take this off camera.
yeah.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash? Then give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
Call National Estate Jewelry Buyers at 732-257-4653 or visit us online at www.toppricesforgold.com.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash? Then give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
And now, back to the Piper Harlow Show.
Welcome back. I am here with Dr. Elijah Nichols, the founder of 100 Black Trans Men. Thank you so much for coming here today and just flying up from DC on a whim. I'm so thankful that you were able to do that for us.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Piper.
Thank you. So I want to talk about the National Day of Silence, which I know just happened 2 days ago on April 12th. So can you just tell everybody a little bit about that? Because I don't think a lot of people really even know what that is.
Sure. So the National Day of Silence is when individuals and corporations around the world are quiet, believe it or not, all day to help people understand what youth experience, specifically LGBTQIA plus youth, as far as bullying in the school system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really unfortunate thing that's just all over the news. And even when it's not in the news, it's happening privately among so many people.
Absolutely.
So why is there a need for a National Day of Silence?
There's a need for a National Day of Silence because when we look at the school system, 50% of youth have expressed that they have been bullied in the school system. When we look at that 50%, 30% of LGBTQIA plus children have been bullied in school and up to 50% online. And so that's
Online's a really big deal.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I remember bullies when I was growing up, but that was at least kind of like in your face, and now they're doing all these things on social media and blocking you from them and saying some really horrible things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when we look at all of the anti-trans bills and anti-bathroom bills that we have right now going around the country, those are things that give, unfortunately, students permission. They think that they can bully students because we're being bullied. And I say we because I'm an open trans man. We're being bullied really from the pulpit. We're being bullied from the courtroom. And so when we codify these things, we say to people, this is okay. And then we see things that have happened, like the unfortunate situation with the person who was killed in school.
Right.
So, this is what the National Day of Silence is about, to show people the importance of paying attention to bullying in school.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you have like 5 things that people should really know and do.
Absolutely. So what an ally can do, right, is number one, stand up.
Absolutely.
Right? Speak out. Let kids know. And it's not just kids. I want to pause and say that kids are not the only ones who experience bullying. A lot of LGBTQIA plus people experience bullying. So have a voice in the community. And when you experience these anti-trans bills, know that if it's not your kid, it is probably a kid that you know, of a family member or a friend. Yeah. So, and start campaigns in your community. If you want to participate next year in the Day of Silence, start a campaign.
Yeah.
Glenn is around the country, right? So there's places that they can participate in the community.
Yeah. I mean, bullying of any type is just not okay. And I've experienced it with, honestly, myself when I was younger, being everything from being called ugly to being called, all different things.
But that was different. That was at a time when social media didn't exist. And now, I have family members who are in school, and the things that these kids do and the things that these kids say are not okay. And they're not getting a lot of support from the school system, which is really, really, really scary, because the parents are going to the school system, the kids are going there and they're saying, this is what's happening, please help me. And it's not being helped. And that leads to a lot of self-harm, right? So, can you touch on that?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So there's a couple of things, right? First of all, you talk about the bullying in the schools and what can we do as advocates, right? As parents, as family members, we have to bring it consistently to the school system and obviously take it all the way up to the superintendent if necessary. And if we don't get action from the superintendent, then we have to go over to the city, to the county, whatever district that you're in. And secondly, when you talk about self-harm, right? Bullying impacts not just young people, but young adults and adults. When we talk about self-harm, when we talk about mental health, and when we talk about the ultimate reality, unfortunately, suicide.
Stand up, speak out, right? What else can we do?
Stand up, speak out, start organizations, and then listen.
I think that's the most important thing, is listening, communicating, talking, just knowing that it's okay to say something.
Absolutely.
If you feel a certain way of something, somebody will help you. Just know that, to whoever's out there who might be watching this. Yeah. We definitely got a little bit passionate today.
Yes.
But that's the way that it is. And I hope that we can help more people to know that everybody's loved, everybody's seen, everybody's heard, everybody's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
So where can people go to follow you?
You find me on IG, on TikTok, on LinkedIn at Dr. Elijah Nicholas on all social media platforms.
And everywhere on TV.
And everywhere on TV. We got some exciting things coming up.
Well, thank you so much for coming in here today. Also, I got to give props to the outfit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on. And the socks. Can we get a close-up of these socks, please? He got the memo that,
Yes.
so we're mounting
We coordinate.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elijah. Everybody, we will be right back.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash, then give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
Call National Estate Jewelry Buyers at 732-257-4653 or visit us online at www.toppricesforgold.com.
Diamonds and watches and coins we buy. Need extra cash, then give us a try. You'll get the most money, and that's not a lie. We're in East Brunswick, so come and say hi.
And now, back to the Piper Harlow Show.
In a world of bad, be good.
Be good. Yeah,
Don't take no crap from nobody.
definitely not. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in this week. We hope that you found this inspiring. We hope that you go out there and do some good in the world and do something that inspires you. And remember, guys, always be seen, be heard, and be fearless. Woohoo!